what's the impetus for making dance, right? Like what inspires you to do something? The whole reason I have a company of dancers who perform my choreography is because I have something to say. The impetus for Four-Letter Word was a desire to see lesbian relationships on stage in dance. Even though I think people think like, oh, you know, artists, so many people are queer or identify as that as artists. Like it's like more accepting than a lot of other career paths. Most people equate like gay men and dance. Not a whole lot of people are like, oh yeah, there's lesbians in dance too.
Or in the world, honestly.
Yeah. It's like a much, there's not as much visibility for that. And the thing that I was really interested in, I was seeing a lot of work when I decided to make this that were pieces choreographed by gay male choreographers that were portraying heterosexual relationships. And I was like, okay, it's lovely, like this is a nice dance, but like why aren't you making your reality? Like it's not to say that like I can't make a duet between a man and a woman in love. Like love is love. We know what that looks like. Attraction's attraction. But it just felt to me like, I don't know, like a purposeful attempt to not shed light on that as like an option, you know, as somebody who is LGBTQ to like purposefully not portray that reality on stage. It felt like some sort of like internalized like discrimination of who you are. I don't know. So I'd been seeing all of this stuff and I just thought, you know, I'm gonna make a dance about women falling in love. And I mean, it was really the dancers that helped me create all of that. So I view my role as a choreographer not as the person who gives the movement. Like sometimes I'll give phrases, but like this piece in particular, but it's how I work with everything. The people that I am working with, the dancers that I'm working with are equal collaborators, that they are generating the material and then I'm just sort of crafting it. So like I have these ideas of things that, you know, spur the next, you know, exploration, but my job is really to like give them the tools of coming up with movement and then me crafting that into a piece that sort of like makes sense.
Right? So do you feel like the pieces that end up as products of Kristi Faulkner dance are mostly affected by the dancers that you have and the dancers you're working with?
Absolutely. I think I mean, and I think that would be true whether or not my dancers, like the people that I was working with on a project, were making the movement or not, right? Because dancers are human beings. They're not just like these bodies that you use to realize your vision, right? For some choreographers, historically that has been the case. But for me, I think that the most interesting thing about the process is what the dancer brings to it, right? So just like anybody who comes to see art, they're bringing their whole past and they're viewing something in a specific way. So like people who just don't want to see a lesbian relationship are going to look at Four-Letter Word and not see that. But dancers bring their entire history, so their training, their life experiences, their awkwardness, their, you know, fears, all of those sorts of things get brought into the rehearsal process and to the performance process. So I think like every time a work is performed, it's completely new depending on who's performing it, or even people that I've been working with for years, performing the same work for years, it's like totally new because they've had different experiences along the way in order to embrace whatever character or whatever thing they're trying to portray. But yeah, I think having dancers that are willing to be vulnerable and willing to take risks and willing to dive into doing things that I can't really explain like what the purpose is to it yet, but just like ideas that I have, like people who are willing to go to that place with me is really important. And I think that's where the most interesting, exciting sorts of things come from. That's just one of the ways I think that I find inspiration for stuff. Like there's some object that captures my attention and I think, gosh, like what is a story I could build around this object? And so for this Cirque Noir work, I actually was doing a residency at Michigan State and developed this work out of the residency there. So props to those students who helped me like figure out what the hell this was. And I don't even really fully remember how the balloons came about. I think I like had a bag of balloons and I was just like, this would be cool. There's a lot of possibilities with balloons. Myself as a choreographer and as an artist to do work that looks at like the female perspective and feminism, but also at the LGBTQ community. Mm-hmm. So like those are the things that I'm most interested in, mm-hmm. and you know the place that I can speak from. And so I've really been defining my creative work from that point, but then also engaging in projects that really reach out to those groups of people. And I also sort of see myself as this community maker at the same time. I think it's easy to, with all of these different people doing different things, to exist in silos, but I think the only way that this community really can strengthen and become a nice home for mm-hmm. dance is for us to share and engage and have an exchange. So trying to create opportunities for people to have that happen